Yo, today is December 1st, 2022. Welcome to Simply Bitcoin Live. We're your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover the breaking news, culture, memetic warfare. We'll be your guide through the separation of money and state. Max Keiser went on Tucker Carlson today. Holy crap. I don't think you guys understand how big of a deal this is. And we have the receipts. We're going to put the pieces together as to why this is a big deal. And we're going to make the case as to why Tucker Carlson at this point is most likely orange pilled. And that's absolutely huge. He's one of the biggest broadcasters in the US. We also have a quick update on the volcano bonds. We're also going to react to SBF getting applause yesterday. Absolutely nuts. Why is that? We're going to get into all that. But first, I want to introduce my awesome guest, Sir Ulrich. He is an absolute beast at basketball. So I'm playing at Pacific Bitcoin. Welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome back, better said.
Hey, happy December to you, Nico, and Optimus when he comes back on. I'm just happy to be here, man. Let's get it going.
Happy to have you. Speaking of Optimus, I want to introduce my legendary co-host, the one, the only, the always optimistic Optimus Fields. How you doing, buddy? You're muted, bro.
Sorry, guys. I am doing wonderful. I had to mute myself behind the scenes so you guys don't hear me do all the spaces intros. But yeah, man, it's always a good day to be here on Simply Bitcoin. And hello to you, Ulrich. Good to meet you. This guy is a true gentleman behind the scenes. This guy is a true gentleman. And I'm excited to, we missed you yesterday, Nico. I know you did some big mainstream or legacy media things yesterday. You left us alone here and the house didn't catch in flames. So I am glad that we are back to our normal scheduled programming. But I'm excited for the news. And then on the culture, guys, a wise man, one of my friends once said, I don't stack sats for my first name. I stack them for my last name. So we're going to go in on the culture of why we do what we do. I think this is going to be a good one.
I love that. I don't stack sats for my first name. I stack sats for my last name. Wow. Oof. That is a great freaking quote. I might steal that and tweet it. Anyways, everybody, let's get some numbers. Let's do it.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Brought to you by NODL. At this point, you should be running your own Bitcoin node. If you don't use your own Bitcoin node, you're trusting someone else's. Run your own version of Bitcoin Core, the Lightning Network, Whirlpool, and Dojo, all from the comfort of your own home. And if you're a digital nomad, you have absolutely no excuse because now you can run a NODL through a virtual private server. Visit nodl.eu today. All right, everybody. At the time of recording, the Bitcoin price is at $16,938. Sats per dollar, we're at 5,904. Block height, we're at 765,491. Reachable Bitcoin nodes, we're at 12,117. Blocks to the halvening, we're at 74,509. Halving estimate, that day could not come any sooner. We're at April 24th, 2024. Total Lightning Network capacity, 5,080 Bitcoin. The US dollar value of the Lightning Network capacity is sitting pretty at 86 million US dollars. Realized monetary inflation, we're at 1.77%. Bitcoin continues to take fiat currencies to absolute school. Market capitalization, we're at $325 billion with a B. So SBF was invited to do this event with the New York Times yesterday. And he got interviewed by his famous legacy media reporter. And at the very end, he got a round of applause. Like, how does that work? Anyways, I'm going to play the video and then we'll talk about it.
Everybody here, and on behalf of the public, I want to thank you for engaging in it at a time, in truth, when I know you've been advised not to. So thank you so very, very much. Thank you. Sam Bankman-Fried, everybody.
So you steal billions of dollars of people's money and then you get a round of applause, and then the open source developer that was, focusing on privacy is sitting in a jail without bail in the Netherlands. These people aren't stupid. They're just letting you know who's in power and who's in control. That's really what this is. I have some more information for you guys. This is a Wall Street Journal article. It says the headline for audio listeners says FTX collapse upends Bankman-Fried, Washington's play. Sam Bankman-Fried's multi-million-dollar Washington charm offense revolved around a small financial regulator and a group of senators with whom the purported crypto billionaire found common cause in a bid for light touch regulation of digital assets. For FTX, the crypto exchange Mr. Bankman-Fried founded, the goal was to steer oversight of crypto into the hands of what was perceived to be a friendlier regulator than the Securities and Exchange Commission, which has been promising a more stringent approach. His effort devoted with desires of other regulators and legislators to hold sway over a new fast-growing industry. The CFTC, which has a periodic turf battles with the SEC, wanted to expand its regulatory purview, while the Senate committee that oversees it saw a rare chance to carve out an expand role for itself. So it's interesting because the CFTC, it's in the name, commodity futures trading, regulates commodities, and the SEC regulates securities. And what SBF wanted was for crypto to be regulated as a commodity, right? And not as a security. Fortunately, right, this did wake up a lot of people. And the new, according to this Bitcoin Magazine tweet, the new CFTC chair says only Bitcoin is a commodity, walking back from his previous remarks that suggested Ether could also be one, right? So really interesting stuff. The corruption there, right? The rot. But that applause at the end, and everyone just going along with it, like, what is going on? By the way, also at this like New York Times conference interview thing as well, President Zelensky of Ukraine was also interviewed, and Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen was also interviewed. So it was like this giant cabal of all the people that, you know, they perhaps are not doing the best things with money, and they're just being applauded, and perhaps they're even paid to be there, you know? And it's like they almost pitied the guy. And also what was really interesting is that Bill Ackman and Mr. Wonderful, after Sam did that whole thing, both said, I believe this guy, right? So we're led to believe that this guy spoke against the advice of his lawyers, quote, right? You know, because you got to give the little guys at least some bait, right? It's like, oh, you know, he could be in trouble because he's talking with his lawyers, right? But then at the same time, whatever he said, you know, these two huge moguls in the US are just like, I kind of believe the guy. Like, I don't know, man. Like, that whole thing seems scripted. This seems fishy as AF. And I just think this is a hierarchical play. Like, they're letting you know who's in charge, and they want to let you know. And it's like, look, if you play by the rules, if you donate to certain political parties, right? Right. And remember, guys, this happened in 2008. The same thing happened in 2008. No banker. I think it was only one banker that went to jail for that whole debacle. And what happened in 2008, right? Of course, you know, we'd like to believe that incentivized the development of Bitcoin, right? The release of Bitcoin, but also, right, it led, or the last 10 years, it has created the QE experiment, such crazy wealth inequality in the United States. Like, if you're below the age of 35, you don't own anything, most likely. And it's getting to the point that their own propaganda is telling you, you know, own nothing, be happy, right? So it's just total clown world. This is fiat. This is money printing. This is what it always does. And SBF, I guess, is the personification of fiat. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what I see, that applause. That's what I'm thinking. I'm seeing this, and they're applauding crime. But is it really that ironic if fiat itself is based on theft? So they're applauding something that the system does itself, man. I don't know, man. Maybe I read too deep into it, but that's how it made me feel. So, Rick, why don't we get your thoughts, and then we'll move on to Opti.
You know, I mean, I think that it's so funny that you have the election, the midterms, and then for whatever reason, FTX exploded right at that moment, same time as the Swan Bitcoin event. It was a great time, of course. Saw you guys there. But the catch is that the propaganda with the New York Times event, where you have the the great thieves of society. They are truly celebrating, and that's the first time I saw the applause, even though I heard about it. And when I look at that, all I can think of is a sitcom back in the 50s and 60s, where they have a guy on the side that's telling everyone to clap, 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 clap. Like this is a charade. This is an act in order to soften the blow of what people just saw. And what we saw is an institution that holds your work, that holds your value, holds your worth, is essentially you were supposed to think that this is a safe mechanism, that banks are safe, that exchanges are safe. And in real time, people's life savings got blown up. 6 months ago, Celsius, people's life savings got blown up. How many times does this have to happen before people need to say enough is enough, take self-custody, hold on to your value in cold storage, buy Bitcoin?
100%. And someone was really smart and they said, clap for your masters, right? And like, that's really what it was. They were clapping for a thief, really. And it's like, and I guess because he's a protected thief, he's a noble thief, he wanted to donate to noble causes, it's somehow okay. Like, it is so crazy. It's rules for thee, but not for me. Like, this is the whole thing, man. It's just absolutely nuts. But is it really a surprise, right? You can't say that the current system is built on integrity. So is it really a surprise that there's a lack of integrity? Opti, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
Well, first up, shame on the New York Times for actually having SBF on the stage. And then again, like double down, shame on everyone clapping for SBF and Andrew Sorkin. What's his name? I think that's his name. Like, I don't want to be the tinfoil hat wearer, but like that's my job here. I'm the in-house tinfoil hat wearer. And I've seen that Andrew Sorkin is on the World Economic Forum website as an affiliate. So, hey, take that as you will. I'm not connecting the dots. I'm not going full Nico Jones on you guys, but the New York Times is bought and paid for, guys. Like, Nico had put the dots together for you in the past. I think it was last week when you did that whole bit on it. And I think this is just further proof that legacy media is bought and paid for. They are putting cover for all this shenanigans. As you said, man, it's only fitting that the crooks have their paid media, trying to make this and spin this in a way so that we clap for our masters. So I think this is just further proof of the importance of independent citizen journalism, like what we do here, and everyone out there on Twitter. We are in the fight of a lifetime because they are trying to spin the truth in any way possible so that we basically get gaslit of what actually happened. I don't know if you guys saw all the news lines out there, all the headlines, but I haven't seen one legacy media out there call SBF a fraud, a criminal, a thief for what he did. They're all trying to spin it in a way where it's like, oh man, it's so bad that he couldn't have his philanthropic, initiatives or whatever he's doing out there. But man, it's really, really disgusting that the legacy media is this, this transparent in their debauchery. It's like, guys, we know they're all in bed together. They all tried to push SBF as some kind of wonder kid that is doing good things out there. It's because they all had money in FTX and they all got wrecked. It's almost like they are trying to backtrack and cover for him. And look, we brought in all the receipts here, and we continue to bring all the receipts because someone's got to do it, or else they will have a monopoly on the truth, which they've always had in the past. But this is why it is so important for you guys to continue to meme them, continue to do content like this so that we can continue to bring the receipts so people know the truth. What's the saying, Nico? If you don't know your history, then you are doomed to repeat it.
Yep.
Well, this is why we do what we do.
100%. Amen to that. I could not have said it better myself. Anyways, guys, let's get to news. We do have a lot to talk about. Let's check it out.
The Daily News.
Brought to you by Blockstream Jade, built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners. It's an open source hardware wallet for the cold storage of Bitcoin. Blockstream Jade houses a full color camera, allowing for fully air-gapped Bitcoin transactions. Scan and display QR codes directly on the device to sign transactions and verify addresses with ease. Use your Blockstream Jade with your favorite wallet software, such as the Blockstream Green, Blue Wallet, Electrum, and Sparrow. Get yourself a Blockstream Jade today and take self-custody of your Bitcoin. All right, everybody. So check this out. Before we get to the, I don't know, what do you think, Opti? Should we hit the Keiser news first? I think that's what everyone came for.
That's what everyone's here for.
That's what everyone's here for. So let's hit the Keiser news first. But first, I have to walk it slowly, and I have to give you guys a sense of why this is such a big deal. And you kind of have to understand who Tucker is, right? So if you take a look at the data, right? It says Q3 2021 media ratings, right? The first one is the Joe Rogan Experience, and it's averaging about 11 million viewers per episode, listeners per episode, right? Also, Tucker Carlson Tonight is number two, and it's averaging at 3.24, so 3,240,000 average viewers per show. So this guy, you can make the argument that he is the second most popular broadcaster in the world. Okay, so this is a big deal, right? Now, we're making the case as to why we believe he got orange pilled, right? So you have to kind of look back on who he's interviewed in the past. He's had Michael Saylor on Tucker Carlson Today, and after he had Michael Saylor, he had President Bukele. And when he had President Bukele, we played you a clip of what President Bukele said. He said, the Federal Reserve isn't federal, and what they do is they steal people's money when they print money, right? That's what he said when he went on the show, right? And then not too long later, right, he had the high priest of Bitcoin, he had Max Keiser, right? And this was, either it's coming out today, from my understanding, or yesterday. And here's Stacey Herbert. This is Max's wife. And she says, if you have Fox Nation, go check out this 90-minute interview with Max Keiser on Tucker Today, talking Bitcoin, not crypto, and why El Salvador is the greatest nation on earth. Now, right, I also heard from sources that I can't mention, right, is that apparently Tucker at this point is totally orange pilled, right? And if you put the pieces together, if you don't believe those sources, right? I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, right? You go from Michael Saylor to President Bukele to Max Keiser. And Max Keiser, we all know he's a savage Bitcoin maxi, bro. So I think this is huge news because at the end of the day, guys, remember what we always say, right? And Opti absolutely killed it when he read this piece during the culture, right? This is a race of adoption to avoid the war, right? And in order to get mainstream adoption, whenever to get these ideas, right, the ethos and the principles of Bitcoin and highlight the scam that is fiat money, that is government money, you need to seep it into mainstream consciousness, right? And Tucker Carlson is perfectly positioned to do that, and he has that popularity. I hope a lot of these guests also get invited to Tucker Carlson Tonight, which is the very, very, very famous show that I think it's like on 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox News. But it's really interesting because he had President Bukele not only on Tucker Carlson Today, but he also had him on Tucker Carlson Tonight. So, I mean, look, at this point, I'm pretty confident in claiming that this guy's totally orange pilled. Like, why else would he invite these people? Why else would he give them a platform? He knows how big his platform is. He's not stupid. Why would he give him the platform? And then think about the steps on how he got there, right? I've heard a lot of people that the reason they got orange pilled was because of Michael Saylor. So he started with Michael Saylor, then he went to President Bukele, and then he ended up with Max Keiser. So obviously, you know, in my opinion, his mind is definitely going down the rabbit hole, or he's a very good pretender. I don't think he's a pretender. So anyways, I think that's really interesting, and I think this is a really important milestone in the fight of getting the Bitcoin ethos, the Bitcoin principles into the mainstream consciousness. Anyways, Opti, what are your thoughts? And then we move on to Sir Ulrich.
Again, just to start off my little rant, this is the importance of good journalism. So shouts out to Tucker for actually diving into things that would help his audience. But, you know, say what you want about Tucker or Fox News or whatever, but Bitcoin secures your property rights via mathematics. And I think this is why the right, and in particular Tucker, has become a Bitcoiner. But I am going to double down, and this is something we get some flack here and there for, but Tucker needs to push Bitcoin harder on his audience. You know, tell his audience audience to save in Bitcoin explicitly, take Bitcoin into self-custody, because this is how we avoid this war, guys. Like, we need more people holding Bitcoin in self-custody and wallets that they have the private keys for. So I am waiting for when he comes out fully orange pilled and he's just, you know, shilling Bitcoin to his audience. I don't know. I don't remember what the numbers were on the top of my head, but man, you know, once we get all his audience out there to be devout Bitcoiners, to fight for Bitcoin like we do, man, it's the end game for all of us here. So we definitely need him to continue to go down this rabbit hole and push for Bitcoin self-custody. But of course, you know, Bitcoin is what? Rules with no rulers. So I think this is just one more point of connecting the dots that Bitcoin is starting to saturate popular culture, and it's only a matter of time until everyone starts talking about Bitcoin and Bitcoin becomes like that prominent, I don't want to say political, you know, point of contention, but political point of contention. Like, unless everyone's talking about Bitcoin, you know, we still have some work to do, because like, everyone should be talking about Bitcoin, because Bitcoin actually helps us and gets us out of this mess that we are in. So I can't wait for him to just go full Nico Jones on his show.
I think it's just a matter of time, dude. Like, once you take the orange pill and you start going down the rabbit hole, you know, I've noticed, right, no matter where they come from in the industry, you start coming to the same conclusions, right? You start realizing, like, holy crap, we're basically, like, think about what a fiat government is, like what fiat currency is, and the government, whatever. It's like as if you were held hostage by a shitcoin casino and you were forced to use that shitcoin, and that shitcoin casino also had a monopoly on violence, right? They had all the guns. That is essentially what the relationship is with people today using fiat currencies. I mean, what did SBF do that the Fed doesn't do? I mean, like, fine, you can make the argument the Fed doesn't steal, doesn't rug pull, whatever, but he essentially created his own money out of nothing, right? He printed his own money. How is that any different than fiat currencies? I mean, I know the arguments, right? The full faith and credit of the US, whatever. But if you actually look at the results, right, of this, you know, unchecked money printing, right? What is the end result? The lower middle classes that don't have the means to save in assets, therefore benefit from asset inflation, get left behind. Anybody that does real work gets left behind, right? And only, right, an elite few, either in the government or the very wealthy that do have the means to save in assets, benefit from it, right? So, and then tie this in, right? We're going to connect the dots for you guys. Tie this in with the clapping for SBF, right? There you go. That is a representation of the system. That is what they think of you, right? They think they're clapping at you getting wrecked, especially if you didn't listen to Bitcoiners and take self-custody. Anyways, Sir Ulrich, what are your thoughts on this, bro?
I think when you have Tucker speaking to these prominent Bitcoiners, it's a good thing. Again, like Opti said, you know, he's not the god of Bitcoin. If all of a sudden he started to shill self-custody or buying Bitcoin, but what's important for Bitcoin is that, in my opinion, is that Bitcoin needs to be not ignored, and we can, by having honest journalism, like you guys say, by having the conversations with people who are in the know, not some crypto expert, not some traditional finance expert who hasn't done the homework. You know, when you talk to Bukele, Keiser, Saylor, you know, they've put in the thousands of hours of understanding this asset. So this type of thing where just have the conversation. Let's have the conversation. Let's talk about what it is with the people who actually know, and let the free market decide. And that's what Bitcoin is really about. Bitcoin is really free market money. And where the opponents of it are basically saying, no, we must monopolize your usage of exchange, your unit of savings. And Bitcoin is like, no, we believe in free market choices. We believe that the people should decide how they want to spend their money. And when people line up the pros and cons of both Bitcoin and a damn fiat dollar, we're going to see that Bitcoin is going to win in nearly every column that there is. That's really all I can say about that. I think that, when we talk about, political sides, of course, the right is generally in favor of property rights than the left right now. That has, that's changed over time, over decades. But we have to focus on Bitcoin is apolitical money. We need to convince the left-wing people to understand its benefits just as much as the right wing. But right now, it seems like with Tucker having these people on to talk about the asset, you kind of see, hey, there's opportunity for a lot of people, mainstream, regular people that listen to mainstream news to say, I was ignoring it 5 years ago and it's still around. I wonder what's the benefit of this. And we see with cell phone adoption, with internet adoption, all people have to do is start talking about it, and you end up seeing exponential growth in usage. And I think that that's going to be this is one of those milestones, like Opti said, where you're going to see custody grow up, increase, ownership increase, and that's a good thing for Bitcoin. People just need to have the asset, and they'll see the positive use case.
100%. I fundamentally agree with you. I think this is Bitcoin is apolitical in nature, and I completely agree. I hope to see more mainstream legacy media, whatever, shill this to people on the left, right? But I agree with you. Recently, it's only coming from the right, but it helps both sides equally, right? So I do agree with you. I think that's very important. Anyways, so moving on, a quick update on El Salvador's volcano bond, right? For our audio listeners, it's a CoinDesk article. It says the headline, El Salvador proposed digital securities bill paves way for Bitcoin bonds. Goes on to say El Salvador's National Assembly is considering a draft bill to regulate digital securities, indicating the country is going ahead with plans to issue Bitcoin-backed bonds. The bill presented by the country's Minister of Economy, Maria Luisa Jaime Breve, to the Legislative Assembly of El Salvador. The bill seeks to establish a National Digital Assets Commission that would oversee the regulation of digital asset issuers, service providers, and other participants involved in the public offering process of digital securities, according to the 33-page document reviewed by CoinDesk. In 2021, under the leadership of President Nayib Bukele, the Central American nation became the first in the world to make the popular cryptocurrency Bitcoin legal tender. Apart from buying up Bitcoin during price dips and openly sparring with the International Monetary Fund as it warned the nation to reverse its decision, Bukele doubled down on the controversial move by revealing plans to raise $1 billion via Bitcoin-backed bonds. Now, it's really interesting, right? And there's this great article that explains the significance of this. It's from a website called Financial Underground. The headline reads, Volcano Bonds, an imminent paradigm shift in the bond market and what it means, right? And it breaks it down, right? It says, typically a country like El Salvador would have three unattractive choices to borrow money. Option 1, go to Wall Street Investment Bank to issue debt and watch them take a hefty cut. Option 2, borrow money from the IMF or World Bank and bow to whatever conditions they impose. Option 3, borrow money from China at unfavorable terms involving pledging critical infrastructure as collateral. And it goes on to say, by issuing the bonds on the liquid network, El Salvador cuts out the expensive middleman, keeps 100% of the proceeds, and doesn't lose its sovereignty to the IMF or China. It's a game changer. And that right there, that last passage is why the IMF and the World Bank and the US government was having a titty attack, because it is a threat to how they control smaller and poorer nations, right? That single passage right there describes it perfectly. And I'm glad that they're actually moving forward with this, because I know at one point it paused. So I'm glad that it's finally moving forward. I do agree. I think that El Salvador has the potential to be the Dubai of Central and Latin America, right? But let's see what happens. Anyway, so Ulrich, what are your thoughts on this, bro? You're muted, my friend.
Sorry, I was trying to give you guys the floor. Okay. The middleman is so important. Killing the middleman is so important. And that's what Bitcoin essentially does. Like it takes every use case we see that we've been seeing that has been popping up over the last few years. We see where the middleman is taken out of the equation, and the middleman essentially they grift off of the value creation, the value exchange. We see someone needs something and someone has something to give. And then, oh, by the way, here we are right here. And we're just going to get in the way and give 1%, 2%, 3%. Where have we heard this before? Back in Miami at 22, when Jack Mallers talked about his merchant platform, where here we are, we have an opportunity to say that 2.5%, that 3% that Visa MasterCard takes so that you can buy a candy bar at a liquor store. It's like, you don't need that anymore. And Bitcoin demonetizes the IMF, the Bank of International Settlement. It demonetizes banks. And these things that Bitcoin does, the elite, they know this. That's why they're low-key trying to say, oh, yeah, bad for the environment. Oh, increases criminal activity. No, it just takes free money out of your pocket. So now all those people who have grifted for generations have to go find something else in society to do where they actually create value for someone. Because right now, all these entities are essentially grifters taking something for nothing. And Bitcoin is proof of work. And in our future society, where Bitcoin is the world standard of money, where it's the chief money, let's just say that there's still fiat in the world, but everything is denominated in the unit account by Bitcoin. If you don't create value, you lose. And they're seeing that writing on the wall, and they're fighting it.
100%. They're fighting it as if their life depends on it, because it totally does. Anyways, Opti, why don't you chime in, and then we'll get to the meme review.
Yes, I really love how Ulrich put it, killing the middleman. Like that's a good phrase right there. And then like Nico pointed out, now we know why the world is so afraid of El Salvador and the volcano bond, because if they are able to pull this off and they keep 100% of the proceeds and they keep their independence, it's looking really good for El Salvador. And again, I mean, Bukele wrote that great article, "Don't drink the elite's Kool-Aid." So guys, I'd recommend everyone read that again if you haven't read it, or if you need a reminder of why the world is trying to stop what El Salvador is doing, what Bukele is doing in his little country with Bitcoin. And then on another point, I saw an article by Shinobi this morning on Bitcoin Magazine, and I thought it was a very fair view of what's going on in El Salvador. Guys, I'd recommend everyone read it. It's not too far on the hopium, and it's not too far on the whole like totalitarian view. I think it's a very balanced view of what's going on out there and the importance of everything going on. And it's just one more data point on the idea of Bitcoin being a seed and being sprouted in El Salvador. And once that tree grows up, man, it's going to catch on like wildfire. So shouts out to El Salvador. I really hope that they make this work out, because, man, it's just the Bitcoin game theory happening in real life. And of course, we always talk about the adoption of Bitcoin on an individual level, but, El Salvador made history, and I really want to see this experiment play out and help them, because we've said it in the past. The third world out there will benefit from Bitcoin a lot more than the people that still have that first world entitlement out here, and they don't understand why we are so adamant about being Bitcoiners. So it's awesome to see. I like Nico said, I'm glad that they are pushing forward on this and they make this happen.
Absolutely, 100%. All right, everybody, let's get to the culture.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today. All right, everybody. Also want to give a shout out to BitBlock Boom. It's a true Bitcoin conference network with fellow Bitcoiners in Austin, Texas, August 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th of 2023. This is not a shitcoin NFT or blockchain event. we talk about Bitcoin, and more Bitcoin. And you can take advantage of the promo code Simply Bitcoin to get a discount to your BitBlock Boom tickets. It's definitely gonna be awesome. Me and Opti are gonna be there. Maybe Sir is gonna be there as well. It's gonna be a great celebration.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, guys, I've been going very hard on the culture segment, and I'm stealing a meme from Nico about capturing the hearts and minds of the masses out there, of the people out there, so they understand why we Bitcoin. So I took a few tweets from friends on Twitter, and I think it's very fitting right now, considering we're like, you know, in the depths of the bear market, and just trying to explain why us Bitcoiners do what we do and what separates us Bitcoiners from the shitcoiners out there that are just simply here to chase gains. And so first and foremost, shouts out to one of our writers, the base Money Tech at the Money Tech. And he goes, and this tweet is one of the tweets that kind of sparked this idea to me. And then I kind of found a bunch of other friends, and it reminded me of one of my good friends' tweet that I'll put a pin on this little segment with. And so Money Tech, base money profit, he goes, I'm not hoarding Bitcoin so I can dump on you during the next pump. I'm hoarding Bitcoin so my great grandkids can dump it on your short-sighted ignorant shitcoiners. Go fuck yourself. And he's got the Kraken meme, one of his favorite memes. And this is the idea, and I think this is what separates a lot of Bitcoiners from the shitcoiners out there, because everyone always says, you know, Bitcoin is a greater fool theory. Like we're stacking sats so that we can dump it on unsuspecting retail in the future. And all the Bitcoiners that I know, they're stacking Bitcoin for the long term. They don't want to get rid of their Bitcoin. You know the meme, why use Bitcoin when you will take my dirty fiat? So most Bitcoiners that I know are saving Bitcoin for the long term because we understand the basic fundamental truth of 21 million Bitcoin and why you want to hold on to some of that coin. And like Dirt GG says, Bitcoin is changing absolutely everything, and most people are completely and utterly unaware. It's astonishing. And as Randy McMillan, one of our friends, adds on top, Bitcoin is itself only an expression of an underlying escalation in consciousness. I absolutely love this. I say this all the time, that I fundamentally think that where we are in the world right now is human consciousness waking up to the facade of the fiat legacy system. And as you can tell, people are angry out there. And this is why we go so hard every single day to tell you guys that when you get an opening, you need to orange pill your friends. You need to orange pill your family out there, orange pill anyone out there that you just get a semblance of like, oh, this guy gets it. He just doesn't have the solution. Bitcoin is the solution, and we need to push Bitcoin wallets into the hands of people that get this. Again, I don't want to tell someone to do something that they don't want to do, but it is upon you to spread Bitcoin. There is no marketing team in Bitcoin. This is why we do what we do, because if not us, then who? And like Hodl says here, at the core, your Bitcoin journey is about renegotiating your place in the world. Are you prosperous, sovereign, free? You decide. Historically, very few discoveries had yielded so much power back to the individual, and you're in a position of asymmetric leverage. Use it wisely. Guys, the importance of what we do as Bitcoiners cannot be understated. I say it all the time on the show. I cannot think of anything more honorable and more worthy of my time than to spread Bitcoin, to try to not only educate people, but tell a very, very intriguing story so that people understand why we do what we do, and not just lie to them like the shit coiners out there, like we saw about this whole SPF and you know, legacy journalists that are basically lying to everyone's face. They're gaslighting you, and they're trying to frame this FTX explosion as, oh man, like, you know, he was philanthropic and he was going to help the world. Guys, Bitcoin is what they portray themselves to be, and this is the importance of pushing self-custody on people, making sure that they understand why 21 million Bitcoin is so important, making sure people understand why running a node and verifying your transactions is so important, guys. It really is the fundamental basics of everything that we're doing here. And of course, guys, we just need to get Bitcoin into their hands. Sometimes you don't need to, you know, beat people over the head with the facts. You just need to tell them a very interesting story of why we do what we do, and then have them use it, and they will become Bitcoiners over time. Nico says it, I think, every single day. just once people get exposed to Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you and you don't change Bitcoin, and they will become savage Bitcoiners over time. And as Eric Keiser said, and again, guys, I highly recommend you go watch the Simply Bitcoin IRL that we did the other day with Eric Keiser. Absolutely killed it. And he goes, Bitcoin can dignify every human being with the possibility of self-sovereignty through cryptography. This alone arrests the machine of state-based violence through fiat money forever. And the final task is recognizing the messianic power in Bitcoin, and that is meant for you alone. Now, say what you will. I am one of the Bitcoin advocates that I think fundamentally Bitcoin is like divine intervention, because the timing, the coincidence of it all, it just can't be lost on me. And I think the importance of understanding that Bitcoin is that tool to free us from this madness. I think you guys need to ponder that, meditate on this, find that Bitcoin Zen of the importance of why and when we found Bitcoin. And I like this tweet by Sean Harris. He put it out this morning, and I know this tweet might be a little point of contention, but I agree with what he's saying. Big Sean Harris goes, Bitcoin is not about me. It was not created for me to get rich. Stop thinking about yourself when you buy Bitcoin and start thinking of others. It is our duty. And while Bitcoin is a revolution of the individual, I say it all the time that if we do what we do as Bitcoiners, we are literally helping humanity from this point forward for the rest of time. And the importance of this, in my opinion, is one of the reasons why we fight every single day for Bitcoin, because we are trying to stop the yoke of fiat slavery forever, guys, like forever. And if you don't understand the importance of your position in this army, in this message, in this war, this information war, I would just, try to persuade you to think about what you're doing very seriously. Put your hat in the ring, because we are all playing our part, and it is the most important thing to do. And again, I started this whole thing with my boy Nick Campmine's quote, buy Bitcoin for your last name, not your first. Guys, I've said it in the past, and I fully think this is the truth. I am doing this so that my great-great-grandchildren can look above their fireplace of an oil painting of me, of a grandpa Opti, and be like, my grandpa was a fucking legend, and he allowed us to do this. He fought for freedom. He fought to end fiat slavery for all of us. And you have that opportunity right now. Like someone whose father or grandfather was a founding father of the United States, like you will be looked upon in that light, in my opinion, when we do what we do. So, guys, stay optimistic, stay positive, stay motivated. We are literally changing the world one block at a time. And all we have to do is ensure that people take self-custody of their Bitcoin, that they use the tools that we have right now, and they just continue to put more capital into Bitcoin. Because I've said it in the past, and I'll say it again, the Bitcoin price is a real-time metric of people's understanding of Bitcoin. And as we see right now, the people don't understand Bitcoin how we understand Bitcoin. So you're still early out here. Continue to orange pill people. We are changing the world one block at a time.
Oof. Oh man, we are changing the world one block at a time. Opti's monologues are getting hot. They're hot fire. They're hot fire. I just got to say that. Anyway, Sir Ulrich, are you as bullish as I am, bro? Opti's getting really good at this, like I knew he would.
I have goosebumps, and I'm wearing a long sleeve, so it's like I got chills and it's warm. But no, I wrote that last one down. Buy Bitcoin for your last name, not your first. It's like that goes into the low time preference of our society. I think that Opti also mentioned how there is some sort of divine intervention. I do believe that if you guys know my writing, you guys know my background. I do believe that nothing happens coincidentally. And, we do have there is a sovereignty in terms of the things that are happening in this world and what's in the evil and the signs of there's a possibility for good if we do indeed act on it. And we all have to maintain that, this isn't the get rich quick scheme of an NFT or a dog coin. This is good money facing up against essentially lying money. And that transition takes time, but it also takes perseverance. It takes an ethical standard of the people who are early, and we are the ones who are early. And again, it's not hodl, use it, and don't look back. Don't look for any other options. It's Bitcoin And that's really is the future. And like you guys, again, like I love coming on your show because you have such pure signal and you get to the root of why we're here time after time again. And I understand people talk about, the bonds and, the trade and, the Federal Reserve, the interest rate, what that means for the price, next month. But when it's all said and done, the Bitcoin network is such a symbol of freedom and individual sovereignty that the price, like Sean Harris said, it just doesn't really matter. And we're doing it for the plebs. We're doing it for the world. And I'm happy to be here right here at this very moment, December 1st, 2022. Let's keep fucking going. Let's go.
Oh yeah. Let's keep up the pressure. Amen to that. Honored to be in the trenches with you two dudes. And of course, everybody in the live chat. We are fighting this war. It's a different type of war, man. It's a battle over hearts and minds. It's not a kinetic one so far. So, I mean, yeah, man. Yeah, you got to say this so far. like, dude, you can't.
I mean, we see Opti's hat. No, I'm just okay. We're gonna stop.
No, dude. I mean, like, I don't mean.
Shouts out the
I don't mean from us. I don't mean from us. We're peaceful and color within the lines, etc., etc. But I mean from because if you look at it historically, I said this at Pacific Bitcoin also. One of the excuses that they use during monetary resets is kinetic war, right? It's like that's one of their go-to moves, right? It's the biggest distraction. It's like it's the other guy. And then if you take a look at, how they're treating the war with Ukraine and Russia, it's like, why should I care what is happening 4,000 miles away, right? And you're also dealing with a country that has the largest nuclear arsenal in the world. And they're just like, okay, yeah, let's throw money at that. Let's fund this war. Like, why not? Like, man, the death and destruction that fiat enables, that's really what this battle's about, right? Bitcoiners fundamentally believe that nobody should have the ability to create money for free that somebody else has to work for. And all the misaligned incentives that system causes, whether that's war, whether that's wealth inequality that we're seeing in the US, whether that's lack of opportunity, Dylan LeClaire says capital misallocation and all the consequences of that. Right. So, yeah, man, this is our fight. This is the fight of our generation. I know we're going to win because Bitcoin has much better incentives and all they have left is coercion. Anyways, let's check out the meme review.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboomracks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboomracks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboomracks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboomracks.
Kaboom. That sticker slap gets me every single time. I absolutely love it. All right, guys, you already know this is the meme review. And what's Nico say? Tweets are the bullets and memes are the artillery. We are in an information war. If you haven't found out yet, well, you are learning now, guys. So continue to put your hat in the ring. Continue to make the memes. Continue to ridicule all the nonsense out there and continue to spread the truth and get calls of action so that people understand why we do what we do. As I tell Nico all the time off air, if you tell someone the truth, you better make them laugh or they will kill you. So continue to make the memes, guys. And of course, drop your meme review score after I cover the memes so that we can read them live on air. This first one, Nico, we were kind of joking about this on BK last night, and Mr. Robot made it into a meme. So shouts out to Robot. And everyone was like, that Bart meme. It's like we should do something where it's like, Nico, say the line, Nico, and it's
you're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
And everyone loves it. Everyone loves it.
Dude, I don't know how. Everyone still loves that line.
Bro, it's because I play it every single day.
You're against Bitcoin, you're against freedom.
All right, this next one. Shouts out to Plan Marcus.
That was 2021, Nico. I've learned a lot of things since then, but that line stays.
That line I still believe going down for eternity. Anyways, this next meme is by Plan Marcus, and I know everyone heard this stuff on Twitter, but apparently someone was saying on Twitter that 87% of Bitcoiners hold crypto. Yeah, okay. So 13% Bitcoiner, and this is the the bell curve meme. We got the left side of the bell curve, Bitcoin only 6.5%. We got right side of the bell curve, Bitcoin only 6.5%, equaling 13% for those guys that are bad at math. And then the midwits in the middle, trying to outperform Bitcoin at 87%. Guys, just keep it simple. Stack sats. And stay humble, guys. And again, we are going to continue to dunk on the 13% meme. Actually, the opposite, the 87% meme. We got us, Bitcoiners, at 13%. And then we got quote unquote Bitcoiners and shitcoiners looking at this freaking Chad angel thingy. I don't even know where it's coming from, but enlightened being with light in their eyes and in their heart. Absolutely beautiful. This next one, guys, yesterday we covered the ECB. You know, the European Central Bank says Bitcoin is on the road to irrelevance. And then we have Coinbase dunking on them. Meanwhile, the euro is down 9,170% against Bitcoin since 2016. Man, sometimes, you know, we don't like to speculate on charts. We do our best to avoid the charts on this show. But, man, sometimes a chart just paints a beautiful picture, and man, the euro wrecked against the Bitcoin price.
Hey, Opti, I don't want to
wreckage.
cut you off I'm sorry to cut you off, but the guy who actually reported on that, sadly, that ECB governor is also named Ulrich. So my namesake is, yeah.
You got to take it back from the monetary demons.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to represent the Ulrichs right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Ulrich is a Bitcoin name. It's not a central bank name.
Yes, man, that guy was wrecked. All right, again, we are going to double down on dunking on the ECB. So Bitcoin is unstoppable, and we got at 21 JCLP with the standard bus meme getting run over by the train, and the bus is the European Central Bank saying that Bitcoin is irrelevant, and Bitcoin just blowing it out of the water because Bitcoin is making them irrelevant. And the ECB is just full of cope and projection.
Dude, they got wrecked on the Mematics bar. They got ratioed so hard. I don't know who over there.
Uh-oh. Nico, I think we lost you.
The Matrix got him.
Uh-oh. They don't like the signal. Nico, your internet is out. I don't know if you're there. Anyways.
I'm the new Nico.
Yeah, exactly. All right, this next meme is by Gerson Martinez.
He just came back.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Okay. He'll be back. All right. This next meme is by Gerson Martinez, and he goes, "You're not mining at a loss. You're paying a premium for non-KYC Bitcoin." And our boy Paul hit us in our show notes. He's like, "This one hurt. This one really hurt." Shouts out to you guys still mining out there that prepared for this moment. And this last meme is by @meming_Bitcoin. And I had to add this considering what my culture segment was today, guys. We are still early. Look at this, guys. The next Bitcoin halvings from start to 1 Satoshi. I don't know if you guys can see this on the YouTube, but we are only in the third halving segment. And look how many more are after here. Don't let anyone tell you that we are not early, guys. The world has not woken up to the Bitcoin signal yet, and this is why we come here every single day to do our part.
So that's interesting you pull that up, because historically, right, the Bitcoin mining revenue continues to increase year after year, even though the amount of Bitcoin actually mined continues to be basically cut in half, right? So kind of gives you an idea. You know, it's too much hopium. Pull it down. Wait, number go up. That's all you got to know. But we don't like to talk about hopium too much. Anyways,
that is mathematically, algorithmically secure monetary supply, Nico. I don't know what you're talking about, hopium. Okay. Anyways,
so this is simply Bitcoin Live. Put your score in the live chat, and we'll get to it. But first, I'm going to give it my score. I'm going to give it the Jade hardware wallet box that it comes in with. It's super nice, smells nice, and on the side of the box, it's badass. It says "Built by Bitcoiners for Bitcoiners."
Let's go.
What about you, Opti? What do you give those?
All right, I got this pin. I think
BTC pins.
Yeah, I don't know if this one is the one that came in the Pacific Bitcoin goodie bag or if he gave it to me personally. But shouts out the BTC pins.
Shout out to you, brother. Ulrich, what would you give those memes?
I got this this pack of trading cards from BTC Cards. And it's a pack that I haven't opened.
Wow.
They were at the they were at Pacific Bitcoin, and I just have a weirdness about not opening my pack of trading cards right away. Maybe I'll open it in 6 months. And but yeah, I love this, and I think that these are definitely worthy of the memes that we saw today.
That's a really good score. Very thoughtful.
Dude, I'm the opposite. I had to open up the cards. Like I
Same here.
I had to see what was in it.
What's inside. Okay.
Me too.
All right, everybody. Put your score in the live chat. We'll get to it. First one from David Matthew Jones. I rate the memes a list of politicians who received donations from scam, bankrupt, fraud. Very, very good use of wording there. Rope says, rating those memes. Dysentery goose chili.
If you know, you know.
All right, last score before the buzzer. One used orange scented candle after a steamy Friday night private orange pilling session.
Wait, you gotta read the name. You gotta read the name, bro. Opti's hot Friday night date with Janet Yellen.
Man, man, I kind of regret saying that because that joke spread like that meme spread like wildfire. But is it a meme? Because I know who did you like more, Christine or Janet Yellen?
I don't know. They're both they're both snacks. So hey, I like them together.
He said snacks, and
he said snacks, and my brain is still
he
processing.
wants a sandwich.
Oh man!
Oh yeah!
Oh okay. Man! All right, everybody, let's get to the open source software release. Let's check it out.
Bitcoin software release.
Brought to you by CipherSafe. Don't be that person that loses their Bitcoin seed due to fire damage, water damage, dog attacks. Back up your generational Bitcoin wealth on steel, and there's no better place to do it than the Cypher Grid by CipherSafe. And now check out their new Bitcoin art, the Bitcoin Rulux triangle, only on cyphersafe.io. All right, everybody, check out the Blix wallet version 0.6.1 multipath payments enabled by default. Blix wallet is an open source Lightning Bitcoin wallet with focus on usability and user experience, powered by LND and Neutrino SPV. So if you have a Blix wallet, definitely consider perhaps downloading the upgrade, because it looks like they added some stuff. Anyways, I also want to give a shout out to the Simply Bitcoin blog, Simply Bitcoin Unfiltered. To join it, you got to go to www.simplybitcoin.news. Check out Simply Bitcoin's Telegram chat, absolutely free. You got to go to www.t.me/simplybitcointv. That's where you can link us Bitcoin memes review. You can also tag us on Twitter. And if you want to listen to the audio version of this show, you got to go to Anchor, Spotify, Apple, anywhere where podcasts could be found. And if you're a fan of the value for value economy, subscribe to us on Fountain. And we love you all for streaming us sats, the ones that you do. And tomorrow's Friday, which means Opti, if he remembers, is going to pull up a screenshot of everybody who's been donating to us on Fountain. We appreciate it. We love you all. I also want to give a very special shout out to our awesome clothing sponsor, Represent Ltd.com. They just dropped Simply Bitcoin merch. Check this out. Those are peaceful bombs.
Show the back though, Nico.
Peaceful
show
Revolution, Sound Money, 21 million, Simply Bitcoin, Represent. Hold on, let me see.
Show the whole thing. Yeah. Hold on. We gotta hide one of these captions over here.
Boom. Dude, dropping truth bombs, dude. Literally dropping truth bombs. Anyways, guys, we love you all. We appreciate it. I also want to give a special shout out to our awesome guests, Sir Ulrich. Where can people find you on Twitter, and what are you working on now these days?
Yeah, you guys, my name is Sir Ulrich you can search it, or at Kobe Duran, my old gamer tag that I'll never let go of. Right now, I'm probably going to work on getting the Declaration of Monetary Independence back at Bitcoin 2023. I'm going to be helping my buddy Anders out for the pre-party that will be happening in Miami. Yo, Anders, I see you in the crowd. And I'm still writing for Bitcoin Magazine in a limited degree. I'm going to start working with Thank God for Bitcoin with Jordan Bush, Jimmy Song's umbrella organization. And probably start writing with Satoshi's I forget the name, but Jeremy with Satoshi's forgot the name.
Is it Satoshi's Journal?
Satoshi's Journal, that's right. Yeah. So I'm going to be on a podcast with with one of their guys on Saturday. So, you know, just continuing to spread the good news of Bitcoin, trying to spread signal. It's not my job, but it's my passion, and I love it.
Absolutely. And I just want to give a shout out to Opti, best producer in the game, popping it up off the cuff. Anyway, so thank you for joining us today on Simply Bitcoin Live. We appreciate it. Love to have you back on in a couple months or so. Thanks, man.
Whenever, bro. Thank you so much.
Take care, dude. All right. Oh, no, I made Sir Ulrich full screen. My mistake. Anyways, guys, we love you all. Appreciate it for tuning in to another episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. You know what to do if you made it all this far. We really like it. We really appreciate it if you consider smashing that like button. Consider subscribing if you feel like we provided you value. But the number one thing you could do to help this show, in fact, help the whole movement, is share this video. But not only share this video, share all Bitcoin content. We love you all, and we will see you tomorrow for a brand new episode of Simply Bitcoin Live. Take it easy, everybody.